Hello? Hello? Is everyone there? Hello? Can you
Hello.
see and hear us?
No, he's not talking to you.
I'm not talking to you.
Just to be clear.
I can't see Reed's face, so that would have told me.
I can see his face.
It's his happy smiley face from our photo
It's
shoot.
just his avatar, but
Oh, we're getting a lot of Kelseys in the chat already, so the video must be good. Can you guys hear us okay? Yep, a lot of Kelseys in the chat.
guys, if you withhold your love,
That's right.
they love you more.
That's the approach.
Reed's the only one who can...
I learned from Mike.
That's the approach
Reed's
I'm taking with my kid.
Yep.
Well, none of us can see the chat, so we'll only know what Reed says.
Yep.
That's fair.
And I definitely won't feed wrong questions.
You won't make up questions and pretend they're like from the fans.
Yeah, right. I actually did that last time with Dan. I posed a fake question asking if we could see his abs. And I half expected Dan to oblige. He didn't though. What's up, everybody? Happy April, JK. It's May. Sorry, guys.
April Fools.
Yeah.
Oh! Got him.
So is Mike sweating or did he just take a shower?
That was my question.
That's the same thing. He just got out of the shower, I think.
Just for you guys, chat.
Abs, Mike. Abs.
So, apologies that this April live stream Q&A is in May. When you have no concept of time, all the days just kind of blend together, and I didn't even realize that we were finishing up with April until we were pretty much done with April, and now here we are. So, we will still do a May Q&A. That don't worry about that. Like, it's all good in the hood. I appreciate you guys being here. So this is officially the live stream Q&A. I'm not even sure if there's been an episode or anything to talk about really since the last Q&A we did because of all the quarantine and all the pandemic stuff. So this can be just an opportunity for you guys to talk about whatever you want. It's if you want to ask us questions, cool. It can be about anything. And so if you want to ask us something, just put question. No, it's on this side. Question, then your question, and then hopefully we will see it. So if you have a question, it's posted in the chat. Appreciate you, and yeah, we'll get started. How's everyone doing?
Good. Alive.
Glad to be here.
I'm a little sore.
You're a lot of sore.
I had a pretty beefy video shoot yesterday.
Oh yeah, doing
your
what?
wife was there. It was
True.
Basically like 5 hours of music video kind of filming.
That sounds like a lot.
Very intensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of stunts, a lot of rigging.
A lot of gaff tape.
The hope is that now they don't have to do it again for a very long time. But
Oh,
We never have to go to church anymore
hey,
never.
because it's all recorded now.
that's the dream. We did it, people.
You can stay in your house for the rest of your life.
Trying to be forward thinking
Yeah.
with creating content for online.
Yeah, right on.
And what we recorded all this great audio, and then one of the key vocalists who sings like a good chunk of the songs was like, "Hey, also guys, by the way, I know we recorded this stuff that we're going to be using for the next several months, but I'm leaving town next week."
Like moving.
Like moving. So we're like, "Oh, okay, we got to record video of all of these songs, like
so that you can use the
this
really
week.
awesome audio.
Otherwise, we got to just chuck them." And so
Oh, interesting.
it was just real intense and real last minute.
I could have been the person though. We never would have known. I could have sang over it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it'd be like the Hegbergs become the Von Trapp family.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
down.
know.
Let's put
What?
Micaiah.
What, Josh? You don't know what?
Let's put Micaiah on the drums. Isley can play bass.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You don't
if
know
it
what,
would-
Josh?
I don't know if it would work.
Why not?
Robert has a very distinct voice.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm
The
saying.
people don't know that. I could get low like Robert.
Distinct.
Have you?
Distinct.
Can you
he
give us
said.
like a note? Can you sing a little song, like low song?
That's the fun part. I don't have to because it's a music video.
Lip sync something for us. Okay.
That's good. That's really good. I'm convinced.
All right, we got a couple of questions that came in. This is interesting. So the first question that came in is from Girdle, but I don't actually think it's from Girdle. I think he's asking via proxy. It says, question, what can you tell us about the Praetorian king Nakara the Third you mentioned in episode 1 of volume 2? That's an interesting question.
Deep dive.
I didn't even know they had a king. I totally spaced on that.
Well, so the King Nakara the Third is an old he's an old leader back when the Praetorians were still in kind of like warring faction state, like three tribal groups that kind of all hate each other. So King Nakara, I would have to check my notes. And I'm looking through my phone right now trying to find my notes. Yeah, I would have to decide. I would have to find exactly like what was special about him. I know I say infamous. So I'm pretty sure that just off the top of my head, and this is not canon until like I actually put it in an episode. I'm pretty sure that King Nakara the Third, um, placed an assassination attempt on, uh, on like the warring Praetorian faction's king, and uh and eventually I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, his son was acting as a double agent for the other king, and he was like undercover for like 10 years, infiltrated that dude's ranks, and then either successfully assassinated him or tried to assassinate him, and that's what split, like it made irreparable the Praetorian monarchy, I guess, like groups of leaders, and now they all hate each other and have for years and years. So if they named it like an airport terminal after this dude, it means they probably see this king as a good guy. Like, so you're in his territory, but there's probably like war memorials in the other place for the fallen king of the dude who was assassinated. So
I like how you preface that with, if I'm not mistaken, and the only person who will ever correct you on that is you.
I mean, I could find my notes that state otherwise and then work that way back into the show, but yeah, I like just looking through my story note, like my campaign notes, I didn't see anything in there right away, but it's probably buried in another section of Google Drive because I have everything spread out in like a million different places.
Gotcha.
So that's a good question and a deep cut that I legitimately didn't think anyone would ever ask me about, because it was kind of like a throwaway line from episode 1, just kind of gauging interest, and there we are.
We're sure not. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you guys are just coasting through it. You guys are just like,
I'm like, anyways, what can I do?
Yeah. Another question. This from Ellen. Question: any more solid ideas on what's replacing the postcards? Yes, I think so. Right, Mike?
Mike looked excited. It sounds like he has an idea, or it looks like he has an idea.
We've talked about it.
Yes, we have ideas. I can't say for sure.
Trade secret.
Yeah.
I think
I'll have to look at my notes.
I mean, I think there's it's not going to be any one thing. So the way I see it is, we're going to provide different types of merchandise on rotation. So like 1 month it'll be like stickers, another month it'll be like an A5 art print, another month it might be like
Pogs.
like pogs,
full body cardboard cutouts.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
Fathead vinyls. Like I really like the trading card idea for like NPCs or even players. I think that'd be really fun.
That's awesome.
That obviously requires a lot more investment on the art side, but it's not an impossible feat. And just stuff like, and I also think in-world physical merchandise would be cool, like pens that say Russell Enterprises, or lanyards for Hive Mind, or Pineapple Gang membership cards. Like, I think any of those are possibilities. We don't have a solid idea on like what the rollout's going to be, but that I think that's going to be the rotation of just different things, kind of unique and different each and every month. So I think that'll be really fun.
Carl's repair coveralls.
Yeah. I mean, everything's on the table.
So you heard it,
Everything.
folks. It's on the table.
Pickles?
Spickles.
Yeah.
Pickles?
Space pickles.
Space pickles.
From Spaceys.
Oh, this question from Girdle. Question: what is Mike's drink of choice during the Q&A? What have you got in that mason jar?
Looks like molasses.
It's elderberry juice. Just kidding, it's not. It's Pepsi.
Yeah, I kind of figured Pepsi. People are guessing motor oil, the Void, Vanta black paint. You know, lots of good options in there.
Dath Maros juice.
Dath Maros juice.
Oil.
Hey guys, so you know what's funny, and you know what makes me a psychopath?
Where do you begin?
Yeah. So, because we're in quarantine and because time has no meaning anymore, I've been not sleeping. We'll just say it all. And
Interesting choice.
yeah.
I think it's the choice.
Some days I get like 1 hour of sleep. Some days I get like 9, but spread out over 3 different periods of time.
Yep.
It's all just.
So you're a cat.
Yeah.
You're a cat.
Are you pregnant, Reed?
I am. Me and my dogs, we just sleep at the same time. So
He's pregnant with ideas.
so yeah, that's literally what. So last night I'm up at like, I don't know, 1:32 a.m. and I'm just kind of like, I'm on my iPad reading, and an idea just like popped in my head, and I just kind of was like, oh, okay.
Gave birth to it.
I was like, that's interesting, and so then I just kind of like kept reading, and then it just like kept rattling around in my brain so much that I had to like put it on paper. So I go downstairs and I put on an episode of Succession, and I'm just kind of like, I'm watching that, but at the same time, like my brain is literally going, no, you need to pause and write this down. And so I paused my show, and I wrote down what I think Volume 3 would be, if we ever did a Volume 3.
I think you were baptized in the Holy Spirit.
And so like, oh, there's Dan.
Oh,
Pog.
good. Good old Dan.
Way to make
Dan,
an
did you
entrance.
ruck there?
What?
Did you
ruck to the grocery store?
Yeah,
Were you locked and loaded, bruh?
I was good to go.
So, anyways, yeah, that's so like at, I don't know, by 7 or 8 a.m. this morning, I think I had like, not the plot necessarily, but like the setting, the world, and the lore of
Go ahead.
if we did a Volume 3 all squared away.
Go ahead then.
Danny, you missed Reed's reveal for Volume 3.
Yeah.
Mike, tell him what it is.
We're actually all going to be Tamagotchis
I love
in
it.
someone's pocket.
Yes.
And then we find out that person is not really a person. And it's actually a bigger Tamagotchi.
Bigger
I'm
Tamagotchi.
here for it. I'm here for it.
It's like nesting dolls.
It's called Tom Tamagotchi Gachi.
So is Reed gonna be the person whose pocket we're in, and
It's
we're
not
just
a
gonna be
person.
like, we're gonna be needy
No.
all the time? We're just gonna like take dumps all the time and ask for food all the time?
He has to feed us and evolve us.
Yeah, I'm here
We
for it.
are Reed's Pokemon.
I'm here for it.
That's it. So
Reed, what's the setting? Are you just going to say all that and then
Steampunk?
not give us something?
Cowboys.
5e
5 what?
5e fantasy.
5th edition fantasy.
Yeah.
Any unique flavoring on top of that? Classic
Vikings?
There is something I want to make like a central element. I think airships would be really fun.
The women are in charge.
Hey, I've done that before.
I know you have.
Yeah, that
We've done that. We don't need women to be in charge anymore, Kelsey.
No.
We already did it once.
they got their volume. Let's move on.
Not in my fantasy.
Question from Christine. Reed, will you let the Patreon know what the product of the month will be ahead of time so people at that level can adjust if they really want? Yes. I think what we're gonna do is probably have like a list that will be published that people see, okay, I know coming up in July is gonna be this, September is gonna be this, so on and so forth. Not the specific like design or image, but it'll be like, you know, in-game merch or art print or sticker or something like that. So
Can we just spin a
make
wheel?
Sneak attack masks that are just like
Oh,
3
damn.
sticks.
3
sticks.
sticks.
like the mask in Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
Question: Are iHeart TI magnets a possibility? Everything's on the table, Girdle. Everything's on the
We get to go wild. No more of this dumb lore stuff that Reed wants to do. Now we get to do the fun things.
All right.
Am I right, Reed?
Yeah, sure.
You're right about everything except for that dumb lore
Yeah.
line.
Let's agree with me, Reed. Right? Tell me your things are dumb.
I can't see the chat, but Pog's in the chat for that. Let's get it going. And let's get some resident sleepers for lore. Am I right?
Resident Sleep. This isn't Twitch. This is YouTube.
They can still do it. In their hearts, they know.
Oh my gosh.
Where's Reed's beautiful face?
Sorry, you guys can't see. It's like, my OBS is occupying my camera feed, so I can't have my camera into.
So he can be rolling his eyes at us, giving Jim from The Office looks to all the audience.
Oh, you
while
know
we're
he
saying
is.
stuff.
He could be naked.
I was just gonna say that.
You would think that, the two of you.
Only from the waist down. So
Whoa.
they can't.
Right.
They can't see. Reed, is this just BioShock Infinite and 5e?
I hope so.
Maybe. I doubt there. I doubt there'll be skyhooks, but maybe.
Reed would never do Ghibli. That's just you, dude.
No, like Hayao Miyazaki loved airships. They're in almost all of his movies.
Reed loves anime so much.
It's
I'm
true.
sure he would incorporate anime into his 5e world.
Don't lump Hayao Miyazaki's work in with the giant freaking mess that anime is.
Question: Any surprising submissions to the quarantine content forum? I wouldn't say surprising. I think people are kind of misunderstanding the idea, which that's not surprising to me.
So not surprising.
So yeah, like people are just like, I really like this section, like this part of the episode. I go, okay, that's cool and all, but like, what do you want us to talk about? Like, what specifically is there to talk about? So I think that's been kind of the challenge with this, is actually being able to find a section of an episode that people want expanded on.
We need a prompt.
I mean, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot by doing giant mailbag episodes several times to answer a lot of those questions.
But we didn't know there was going to be a pandemic.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
You know how it be.
I know. We need to consider these things in the future. We can't answer any questions at all until another pandemic hits.
That's fair. 100 years.
Then we'll have tons of stuff
until the next pandemic.
Yeah.
So I think that's the surprising part, and not even surprising that really there, Ellen. It's just it's been a bit of a challenge, I think, curating and cultivating these questions that to put them together in a way that they're like easily digestible chunks of audio that we can listen to and then just like riff on and talk about. But I like the last one we did. I thought it was cool. I think we're gonna try and like segment the next one a little bit. We're recording the next one on Thursday, so I think being able to I think we're gonna kind of break it down into sections. So like we'll just chat about stuff internally for a while, then we'll go to audience submissions for a bit, and see how that works. But again, we're it's pretty fluid still. We're just playing with the idea. Girdle, question: what is the activity you enjoy doing most during quarantine? Oh, that's to the group. Let's start with Dan. He just got here.
I've actually been watching movies. I've been trying to watch one movie a night, which is new for me.
Yeah, how's that going?
So that's been fun.
What's Gem?
Yeah, what's the one that's risen to the top?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I watched 1917 a couple nights ago, and that was just as fun as it was in theaters.
Yeah.
Really?
Last night I watched Singing in the Rain.
I saw that.
Which is one of my favorite movies.
You put some LEDs behind your TV.
I did.
Wild.
Yeah.
I've been kind of doing this like roulette Netflix situation where I'll just I'll get on Netflix and I'll just find something I've never heard of, but for some reason just like jumps out at me. and then I go from there. I've caught some real winners doing that. The Zhang Yimou film, Shadow, which if you don't know who Zhang Yimou is, he's a Chinese director who directed House of Flying Daggers and Hero.
Ooh, I remember Hero.
Hero is one of my favorite movies of all time, legitimately of all time. I've been told I need to rewatch it with a fresh perspective because it's very pro-nationalist China.
Oh, really?
Which is interesting. I mean, like if you think about the plot, if you remember it, it does actually give that vibe very
That is
strongly.
a political spectrum. Like I am not fully educated on today, and
Right.
was zero educated on when I saw it.
And I think that's the thing. Yeah, I saw it in high school for the first time, and I've seen it several times since, but not since the whole Hong Kong situation and all that stuff. So
Interesting.
I think
This is the Jet Li movie, right?
right, yeah, where he is like a lone warrior, like uniting
Yeah.
all of China.
There's that scene from the trailer with the arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is when he like stomps on the ground and this basket of sticks flies up and he jabs his sword into this mess and only pierces the white one. Like, and it's all like all of his films are beautifully shot. Just like legitimately some of the most artistic, beautiful, stunning films I've ever seen. And Shadow is no exception to that. If you it's very like old China high politics. Because it's like it's got a lot of intrigue and political sabotage and like double agentry and stuff like that. But visually just stunning. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I also started watching a movie called A Ghost Story with Rooney Mara and
Casey Affleck.
Casey Affleck. That movie's weird. I shut it off. Like
Ooh.
I couldn't finish it. I'll probably try and get through it again, but I couldn't finish it.
Like a slow burn.
There's legitimately, and this is no kappa, no joke, a 5-minute shot, uninterrupted, the camera's on a fixed tripod, not moving. It's just of Rooney Mara eating pie in silence
Single take.
for 5 minutes.
A single take shot.
And it's just like it's one of those movies where they just kind of like put up a camera and go. And I like the almost like documentary or like silent observer perspective that films like that offer, but it's 5 minutes of eating pie. It's a little too much for me. So I was just like, I'm not in the right mental space right now to watch and sufficiently appreciate this. So I'm gonna pivot to another one, and then I watch Mike Birbiglia. So
Good stuff.
what about you guys? What about Lormers, Mike? What do you guys been doing? An activity you enjoy doing the most?
We talked about this in the bonus podcast, but I've been getting back into sewing a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you have
Whatever
a
your
sewing
go-to.
machine or do you hand sew?
I have a machine. I need to get it set up. I've just been practicing with a couple ideas for patterns.
He's been playing Stardew Valley. He's not sewing. He's lying.
What are you talking about?
Can you sew in
Of
Stardew
course I
Valley?
would, but I have been doing other things. They said, "What's your favorite thing right now?"
And he sewed this.
Okay.
Got him.
No, he's actually very talented. I'm giving him a hard time. Shocker to us all.
Creating a pattern is a complex process that requires many iterations. So I'm trying to find the right pattern for the thing I want to make. So
Fair enough.
But yeah, I also do other things than that. But you said, what are we enjoying the most? I like that a lot.
Good. That's awesome.
Kelsey?
I've been watching a lot of Bon Appetit test kitchen videos on YouTube.
Nice.
And not really enjoying it, but I'm growing a baby. That takes up quite a bit of energy. And yeah.
Those videos are what you enjoy the most?
I don't know what I enjoy the most right now. Actually, what I enjoy the most is bothering Josh, truly.
That's not bothering.
I like to see it as bothering, and I enjoy it.
You should just say it's bothering and just like let her have this.
I like you being around me, so.
And I like to be around you and poke fun at you and laugh at you when you're in pain. To be fair, Josh's reaction to pain is to laugh.
Yes.
Which then makes me laugh. I'm not actually laughing at his pain. I'm laughing.
My legs are just really sore, and when I stretch, it just forces me to laugh.
I don't know why he reacts that way, but it's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I think that's like a sign of sociopathic behavior. If like pain
No,
makes you
it's-
break out into hysterical
No,
laughter.
it's like, you know what I mean? Like, cause it hurts.
No, I don't know what that means at all.
Yeah, I don't
You
know
gotta
what
laugh
it's
it
like
off,
to
you
laugh
know,
when
guys.
something
Just
hurts.
laugh it off.
No one does that but you.
Nobody does the like the.
No.
Just you and Tom
Are you-
Segura.
You're gonna tell your kids to do that when they get hurt, when they fall
That
down
doesn't
and
help.
scrape their knee. You're gonna say, "Laugh it off."
Laugh it off, Diana.
Tom Segura has some serious like sociopath kind of
Well,
Yeah, I mean, like,
thing.
if
That doesn't help.
if the crazy shoe fits, what about you, Mike? What are you doing?
I've been enjoying cleaning the house, so that's been fun. And
enjoying it?
That's not a lie. I do like enjoying like cleaning messy things that we haven't got to. Like the garage, I cleaned all that out. I painted the door.
Nice.
Mr. Fix It.
Are you like Danny Tanner from Full House?
A weatherman?
No, he loves to clean.
It wasn't a weatherman. He
He
was the
does?
host of Wake Up San Francisco.
Yeah, but his whole thing in the house is that he loved cleaning.
That's true.
And
He
organization.
loved things being like neat and organized, and that is
Yes.
true. That is true.
Okay, then yeah.
Just like Danny Tanner,
I am Danny Tanner.
only with an alive wife.
I can't wait
Oh.
till after Full House and you're doing America's Funniest Home Videos, Mike.
Who's Uncle Joey?
Dave Coulier.
No, yeah. Out of the four of you, who's Uncle Joey?
Oh, Dan for sure.
I feel like Dan is positioning himself to be Jesse though.
No, Mike is Uncle Jesse. Just look at that hair.
Yeah.
Dan wants to be
Yeah.
Uncle Jesse
Is-
so bad.
Reed, are you Danny Tanner?
I mean,
Ooh.
I like things clean. I'll fall into that role if need be. I will definitely not. Even though Uncle Jesse is Greek, and I think he definitely plays into my strengths. And I am a musician. Holy crap! Maybe I'm Uncle Jesse.
You
So-
can't all be Uncle Jesse.
We're
guys.
all Uncle Jesse. I am Uncle Jesse. Okay. Question. This from Amelia. Question
And
reads
I'm Kimmy.
since since Avatar: The Last Airbender is coming to Netflix, will you finally watch it? No. Dan is Steve Urkel.
Just a completely different show.
What? No, that's the same show.
Family matters.
Same neighborhood.
It's life changing. I don't think it is. I'm just gonna.
It's a great show, Reed, and you're missing out. Period.
Life of Korra is also amazing. I doubt that very much.
It's not as good as the last Airbender.
The last one
I
was
thought
blah
this
blah
man was
blah.
going to incorporate Ghibli into his next.
He
DC
basically
adventure.
is. He
No, he's
basically
not.
is.
No,
He
he's
doesn't know
not.
it.
My wife and I just binged Upload on Amazon over the weekend. 10 episodes. It's amazing. My wife watched the first episode of that, and she I've seen the trailer, but she talked a little bit about the show, and that sounds like the cringiest thing to me.
What show?
Upload.
Okay, but to be fair, you don't often take your wife's recommendations on media.
Yeah, there's some truth to that.
You guys have very different tastes.
Yeah,
Very different.
you're. I mean,
tastes.
yeah, you're not wrong.
Reed's like, I want to see Leonardo DiCaprio getting eaten by a bear in the woods, and Tiffany's like, I want to watch something where they bake cakes.
I love cooking shows, man.
It does.
I love
know.
cooking shows.
You
'Cause
guys probably could watch that stuff together, right?
We watch a lot of
I
Chop
do.
together. We watch a
Me
lot
too.
of Chop together. We whenever she watches Baker or Faker or Baker versus Faker, whatever that show is, I'll watch that with her. Nailed It is also a fun show for like memes, but it's Chopped is where it's at. That's a shout out to Ted Allen.
What's the meme you were telling me about in the bonus podcast?
The wonton.
The wonton. The wonton.
It's like my favorite thing. If you've never looked up the wonton from
I
Chop,
have no idea the context, but the GIF is pretty dang funny.
Yeah,
in itself.
it's like someone's just making wontons as part of their meal, and they leave them in the deep fryer for a little too long, and the person like realizes they're in there, so she runs over, and this dude's reaction is so over dramatic and like completely unnecessary, but he's so baffled that the wontons might be ruined, and it's like one of my favorite things. He
I'm
just
sure I spoke wrong.
he just
W
screams,
O.
"Oh, the wontons," and it's great. Question from Girdle: Reed, have you watched Curse of the Golden Flower or Legend of the Black Scorpion? None of those sound familiar to me. If they're not directed by Zhang Yimou, then I'm probably not interested. And
Sounds like anime.
it does sound like anime, so I'm not gonna overcommit to saying I'll watch it. Muffin says that he does cross stitch. Josh, so
Nice.
a fun
That is cool.
extension of knitting.
Is that what Connor?
No, he crochets.
crochet?
Cross stitching is that circle where you make it. You sew a design into the fabric in the circle loom. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
What did I say?
You said cross stitching is not sewing.
So what is cross stitching then?
It is cross stitching is when you have the sheet
Mm-hmm.
and you put an image into it with
With what?
with
What's that called?
string or yarn.
Sure. No.
Thread, I think.
Thread.
I sew guys with string.
Hey, listen. Just like a self-taught
like to use
musician
rope
doesn't
when
know
I
how to read
sew.
sheet music.
A nice strong rope.
Yeah. I sew exclusively with fisherman's knots. Question: has Kelsey listened to the most recent bonus podcast? But nope, I'm skipping that question. Question: Josh, have you considered sewing
What'd
your
you say in
baby?
the bonus podcast?
I have no idea.
What'd you say in the bonus podcast?
Only
Josh?
good things.
What'd you say in the bonus podcast?
I
Josh?
have no idea. Like, you think I remember everything, all the crap I said?
This is from Christine.
I
Question:
feel like Reed did that on purpose.
Josh, have
Oh,
you
yeah,
considered
probably.
sewing your baby a set of stuffed polyhedral dice?
No.
That would be complicated, I think, especially the D6. Like that would have no
No.
structural integrity. I feel like.
Now that'd be super hard. This is me trying to make an oval. Like, it's not easy to make unique shapes.
My brother-in-law bought my son like a giant D20, like bigger than a grapefruit, and it was made out of like
Foam?
hard foam. And
Yeah, those are awesome.
but like as a baby who was teething, he just like ate it. Yeah, like so he destroyed the thing.
Yeah.
And eventually, like he got a whole like number chunk out. I was like, oh, I have to throw this away now because I mean he's gonna eat this foam and it's gonna grow into a mattress or something.
You could do it with like wool fleece, and if like all the sides were exactly the same, and you'd have to pack it crazy tight
So then it wouldn't really even be fun.
with like really good wool, but it'd be like a soft toy from like the 40s.
Not soft. Because
Yeah.
that was during the World War.
Oh boy, we are.
War of the Worlds.
But, I mean,
We're
you could
really
do
far
it.
behind.
I like squishy fleece plushes, so they stretch a little bit. And so if I were to try and make a polyhedral dice with
It's not really about what you want, it's what the child would want, and they're going to want stretchy too.
yeah.
Question from Amelia: have you guys learned to cook any new foods over quarantine? Mike?
Nope.
I used to use the back of the box to tell me how to cook a pizza. So
4:25, 13 to 15 minutes.
That's the code.
I too eat Jack's Pizza.
I'm supporting local businesses during this tough time.
By ordering out every night.
Yes.
The local business of Chipotle.
Honest Abe's, they're coming back, baby.
Are they coming back?
they are coming
Yeah.
back.
Monday, baby. And Lead Belly.
We
will
get
be
all the
open on
burgers,
18th.
baby. Truffle fries. Ugh.
The wonton.
What about you guys, Lormers? Have you found anything? I guess Kelsey. Josh pretty much already
No.
said.
I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes, so I have to watch my carbs, and that would be the only thing that would be worth cooking during this time anyway. So
Yeah.
That's tough.
nah.
Pregnancy is the worst.
Yep.
As someone
Sure
who
is.
is only an observer,
I
man,
have carpal tunnel too.
it looked
and
like it sucks.
It's awful. I hate it.
Sorry.
I'm ready to be done.
Yeah. What about you, Dan? You seem like you're always trying new things. in
I
the,
am.
in the kitchen. So what do you got for us?
I made some pretty dope pancakes last weekend, I think.
What made them dope?
Yeah.
They were as big as a plate, as thick as my finger, which is pretty thick.
Thick.
How many C's?
Thick.
How many C's?
We have it on record.
Thick.
Dan's got thick fingers, everybody.
How many C's?
No cap.
At least 3, maybe
Wow.
2.
Thick.
That boy. Look.
It's a thick boy.
And I've been learning to cook with stuff that I stockpiled before all the madness.
Yeah.
So
What'd you stockpile?
I've got so much rice. Y'all, I have combined, I bet I have close to 100 pounds of rice.
Oh my gosh.
You making some rice cakes?
And ammo.
I'm making
Just
so much
the
stuff.
the
out of
two
rice.
essentials, rice and ammo.
Rice balls?
Rice. I got
This is
lots
why
of
we're
rice,
running out
lots
of
black
food, Dan.
beans. Lots of frozen chicken too. So, been making a lot of different dishes with chicken and rice.
I've been doing cast iron skillet cooking,
Mm-hmm.
which steaks in a cast iron skillet is, I think, a very amazing alternative to like a grill if you have a grill or don't have a grill.
Yep. Agreed.
That's been really great. We bought like a bunch of ramen, just as like an easy like in case we actually can't go to the grocery store kind of situation. Thankfully here in Nebraska it didn't get that bad, or at least in Lincoln. Some places in Nebraska did get very bad, but in Lincoln we're all
Hasn't gotten bad.
yeah, we've been thankfully spared by a lot of it. So so we have a lot of ramen right now, and so I've been looking at like ramen recipes, and I made my own like Mongolian beef kind of thing. It's like you just like chop up some steak, grill it, season it, and then prepare like noodles and like steamed broccoli, and you're good. I mean, it literally tastes like hoo-hot, which is amazing. So
Wow.
it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. So I just like easy stuff like that involves like cooking meat or using my skillet, and I'm happy. I feel kind of artisanal where I was like, I'm oiling my skillet afterwards, gotta like lock in the
Gotta season
gotta seal it or whatever it is. I don't know why I have to oil it, but I do. Question, Reed, or I guess to anyone, who's your favorite chop judge? Definitely Aaron Sanchez, because I like the way Ted says his name, and also I think that dude has a good look, a good vibe, and a great flavor profile.
It's just a good look. I need to look him up, and then I'll tell you.
He's tough. I mean, he's just like tatted. But
who is it? Oh, okay, the hand tattoo guy.
Hand tattoo guy, yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
Aaron Sanchez.
else
Sarah, like Gardinelli. It's Gardinelli. What's that? The girl's name? I don't remember her name. She's been on like the Triple D kitchen or Triple D shopping spree or whatever a bunch of times too.
Grocery games.
Yeah.
Guy Fieri's grocery games.
Grocery games. She's been on that a lot too. Alex G. Yeah, that's the gal. Alex G. She's so sassy. Yeah. That was Muffin. Question: do you all have a favorite quarantine meme? I mean, if the answer isn't the dancing pallbearers, then you're wrong.
Dancing pallbearers is pretty great.
It's top tier. I mean,
did that one start during the quarantine?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, it probably like lingered like right at the beginning, but at the height of the quarantine, man, that's where.
Palm bears.
I don't know what dancing what bears?
Polar bears.
No,
dancing polar bears.
Pall bears, like as in people who carry a coffin.
Pall bears, not polar bears.
You guys have not seen the dancing pallbearers meme?
No. He originally wrote dancing palm bears, so it's been quite the journey over here. No,
how do you spell it, Reed?
Bearers.
It's like Paul. I think it's like Paul and then
like
bear.
the guy Paul.
I think
like the Bible, Paul.
I think it's 2 L's, but
is it?
and
Yeah,
no, I think it's P-A-L-L.
I wasn't positive of that.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna look it up because he can't spell.
I got it.
No, the meme is like someone's about to do something stupid that might end in bodily harm, and then
I
the
sent it in the text thread the other day when Mike said he was going to the mall.
right.
That's pretty good. Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm looking at one where the guy's skiing down a hill, and then all of a sudden it's the dancing
I love those guys.
pallbearers.
I love those guys. Unpopular opinion: Chipotle is garbage. Hey, can we mods? Can we ban that guy,
Ban?
please?
Ban?
Wrong.
How's that not an unpopular opinion? Wait.
I'm not
How
sure.
is that?
Wait, am I the unpopular opinion?
Your question didn't make sense.
It's double negative. I feel like everyone knows that it is garbage, but that doesn't change the fact that we want to eat it.
No,
Why
Chipotle
would you
is
eat it if it was
You
garbage?
think it's garbage?
It's not garbage.
Chipotle is the opposite of garbage. It's so good, dude.
Compared
It's
to what?
delicious. I love the taste.
Then
But come
why do
on.
you say it's garbage?
Because, like, do you realize
It's
how
not
many
like
people got
McDonald's.
sick off of Chipotle?
I've never gotten
Because
sick
it
off
was
Chipotle.
improperly cooked, dog.
Yeah,
and
there was
every
like
time that happens, they shut down and
It took them a long time to actually start, like,
They said
implementing.
sorry, Josh, and that was like
health.
5 years ago. Get over it.
yeah.
You
Hey, they
know
said
what?
sorry.
I'm just saying, it's one of the only restaurants that can be like, yeah, we let birds in the place, and people still show up to eat the food.
Josh is a big fan of cancel culture.
And
No!
also never heard of Golden Corral.
No, hey,
Gross.
guys,
kinda
I'm not
cancel
saying
Chipotle.
that it should stop. I'm saying I am one of those people that still goes and eats it. Like, but I'm not. I'm under no
You're a real hero, Josh. You're a real
Okay,
hero of
okay.
the people.
The person who probably said that probably doesn't enjoy eating at Chipotle.
Right.
That's not what they're talking about. They're saying it's gross.
I'm going.
Guys, I'm still going to Chipotle.
What a hero! What a champion of the people.
Yeah.
They had the Corona there, but I'm going.
I'll go steal the "A Hero Lives Here" sign from the nurse that lives a couple doors down and put it in our front yard.
Yeah.
Please do. Question:
Frontline Josh.
Have any of you ever been to Disney?
Yes,
Yes.
twice.
World.
Which one?
Yeah,
World.
any of them. I've been to both.
World.
I've been to land and the
World
cruise.
twice.
Oh, just hold it.
I was
Objection.
gonna hold it for the cruise.
Never been to the cruise. I've been to Land and World, and California Adventure technically. So
And Universal. I did that too.
that's not
You
Disney.
got it.
No, but it's like in the same area.
It's Orlando.
I mean,
That's not. It's the same city.
It's like they're right next to each other.
well, technically, even in LA, like Universal City Walk and Anaheim aren't like too far from each other. I mean, it's like half-hour, 40-minute drive, but that's not bad in LA.
It's all
Um,
relative.
Disney's great. Here's what I would suggest. If you have kids, take them before they get too old, so that the magic is not worn off. I went to Disney World when I was probably 10 or 11, and I was too old for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I liked it at that age.
I went when I was.
What, did you have a
5.
job and a beard? How were you too old for that?
It's
Like, you could ride all the rides once you're 11. Like, you didn't have to, like, hold off on
No,
anything.
listen. I've got the perfect recipe. I went when I was 5. I wasn't a very daring child, so I didn't go on roller coasters. So maybe a little bit older than that would be good, like 7 or 8. And then I went when I was 15, so I was all about the roller coaster. So it was about the characters and the magic when I was little. And then when I was 16, I was like roller coasters and food. Those are your 2 windows.
Yeah.
They got
You got 2 windows.
they got home videos of, like, her and her sister with their little like signature books going up
Yep.
to, like,
I
Disney
still have-
characters.
I still have my
I do too.
signature.
I had mine too. Yeah.
I went there for the first time when I was 20, and I freaking loved it.
No, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's
Was the magic there, Dan?
that's
Oh,
my
it was
follow
there.
up. That's my follow up. Is like you go when you're really young, and for me, it's the experience. If I want to go for roller coasters, I'm going to a completely different theme park because
Oh yeah.
like Six Flags or Universal has way better
Universal.
roller coasters.
Universal's.
I
Oh,
agree.
Yeah,
It's just
Oh.
down the road. That's in
You
the
go-
same place.
you
so
go-
it doesn't matter.
You go Disney World first when there's magic, and then when you're a teenager who doesn't believe in magic, you go to Universal,
Yeah.
and then when you're an adult and you go, yeah, magic's real again, you go back to Disney World.
yeah.
No, when
I
you're an
I
adult,
fully
you
agree
need
with that. I fully agree with that. There is something about like rekindling your childhood innocence a little bit when you go as an adult. You're just like, man, the attention to detail and like the commitment to it is so impressive. I'm in awe of the experience. But I like Tiff and I really want to take Mason when he's like right in that 6-7 year old range because I think seeing him experience something like that would be incredible.
I feel like the majority of my 20s was just me learning about how stupid teenage Josh was and how like young kid Josh had it all figured out, and I need to figure out how to get back to that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Naps were great.
I think that's like the goal of every adult, like millennial adult in their 30s ish right now is like, wait a minute, I remember
I'm
being
not too cartoons.
yeah, I remember being happier when I was a kid. How do I like get back into that swing?
Video games rock. Like, yeah. My teenage years, I didn't. Late teens. I became a bummer of a person.
Someone is
Hot
hold
take.
on, where'd it go? Read what is this meme? It's sorry, it's you just have to look it up. Google it. It's great. The first time my husband and I had Chipotle was on the way to Hoover, Alabama to meet Sneak Attack. I mean, that's just double greatness right there, in my opinion.
Wow.
Can't beat that.
Chipotle has no queso. That's incorrect.
That's a lie. They have queso blanco, and it's actually pretty good.
It's better than their other queso.
You're right.
Yeah, it is better than the other one. We don't need to talk about queso blanco. That's where it's at.
It's actually pretty good.
I will love Chipotle forever and take no offense at anyone calling it garbage at the exact same time.
I mean, like if you want to be like a like South Park and you say that Chipotle caused you to poop your pants, like I'll laugh at that. But at the same time, don't like I will fight you if you say it's not delicious.
It's like, yeah, I really enjoy watching the show Supernatural, but I also know that it is a total garbage
Look at my
TV
face.
show.
Mike just lost all respect for you.
There's nothing. I'm not like
There's nothing. For
I'm
you
gaining
left.
nothing out of watching that show other than just entertainment. That is hollow of any kind of quality or substance. Just fun for me.
Kayla says my kids will be 6 and 7, but my husband will be 29 for his first trip. I think that's perfect. Like
Yeah,
you guys are at the perfect age and they're at the perfect age. I think that's like the best thing you guys could do. They will be great. Everyone is very on board with the Supernatural thing. A lot of people like it, but can equally acknowledge just how terrible it is.
Thank you.
Watching that guy get destroyed by Gaston doing push-ups is also great. I've seen that before. Have you guys seen that? This like
Yes.
this Disney guest challenges Gaston, like the character, like the actor, to a push-up contest.
Nice.
Thinking just like oh blah, like and so Gaston gets down and just trashes him. Like he starts doing one-armed push-ups and everything like that as the guy's like tapping out, and everyone just
start singing. Do they start singing the Gaston song?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Like it again, the commitment, the commitment that the characters have to the role they play is so incredible, and you literally can't get that anywhere else.
I know someone who plays Flynn Rider.
Oh, really?
He looks very much like Flynn Rider.
I heard that you can get an early morning tour of Disney World and see like the cast has like tunnels that go underground throughout the whole park. That's how they get from place to place.
And
what?
Oh yeah, Disney World is so much more thought out than Disneyland, because Disneyland is like it's built in the middle of the city, so they have very limited space to grow and expand. But Disney World, the Disney Corporation used a bunch of dummy corporations to buy all this land in Orlando, and because no one would sell to Disney because they thought like, hey, like he's just gonna turn it into a park and we hate him. So he used all these fake companies to buy the land from these farmers and like business owners, but then he like terraformed it, legitimately terraformed it, removed the swamp and everything, and put all these underground tunnels under the park so that the actors and the park staff can get places without being seen, because you can't. It's like a total like commandment number 1 of the Disney Bible is you cannot have two characters in the same place, two of the same character in the same place at the same time. So there's all these little like secret exits that the staff knows they can walk into and immediately just like disappear.
Josh had no idea.
100%. That's 100% true.
How is there not like a horror movie about mascots in tunnels under a theme park yet?
Because Disney would sue you.
Yeah.
So fast.
I think Disney needs to
I
do
think
it.
it's called Us.
Yeah, I've seen that film actually.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, I guess kinda, huh?
Spoiler alert.
So yeah, it's a there's a documentary I think about like the origins of Disney World, again, not land, the origins of Disney World, and how like all of that came to be, the property management and the property purchasing, and then also like just the logistics of building that park. And it's very interesting. I forget what it's called, but someone should look that up and watch it because it's decent.
When I went there as a kid, a trash can rolled up to me and started talking.
That was just BB-8, and that was last year.
No. I was a little kid and I was putting trash away, and the trash can literally said, "What do you think you're doing?" I jumped out of my skin.
There's
It's a magical world.
There's these like robot butlers in hotels. Have you guys seen those?
No.
So like
Yes.
you place an order at the front desk for like room service or something, and they send a robot to your room with a little like trash can lid or a cooler lid that is, it like goes right to your door. It knows exactly where your room is, and it has your food in it. And
Wow.
yeah, again,
That's
just
awesome.
it's one step of automating people and like getting them out of the picture.
I mean, you're not getting them out of the picture. You're getting them in other places.
Yeah, but not really.
In the moment, it's tough, but ultimately, like the more of that stuff gets automated, the more that people start to do more creative things like D&D podcasts.
No, I'm
Right,
all
to
for
eliminate
automation.
unemployment.
Don't mistake me as being pro or anti automation. I'm very pro automation, but you know, I also am very aware that there's going to be a lot of negatives to it before there are a ton of positives.
Yes.
Uh, someone in the chat said, "Oh yeah, I've met that trash can." So apparently,
Yeah.
it's like a thing, like a common thing.
It is. They got like somebody like driving it around. It looks like a normal trash can. It's the best.
And it's just there to like spook people.
I think it's like color commentary. Like they kept making jokes and making fun of people. It was so hilarious.
There's this
Kind of like Chip and Dale do.
Yeah, there's this ride at Disney World now. I forget which park it is, but it's like a Finding Nemo themed ride, and it's like an interactive experience, because there's like a projection of Squirt the turtle up on this projector screen, and his mouth moves and his eyes move and everything like that. It's like a 3D like it's like a 3D image like straight out of the movie, but the turtle talks to the crowd and interacts with the crowd, and it's not like canned questions like, "Where are you guys from?" And then there's like a gap, and then there's like 5 seconds of silence, and he goes, "Cool, I love that city." It's like he actually will be like, "Spokane, Washington. I didn't think anything cool came from Spokane, Washington." And like it's this actual thing where like the hologram will interact with the audience, and it's just
You're like doing some kind of like live motion capture of someone's face.
so I think it's like someone's in the back with a headset, and they've rigged it up to wherever there's an input, it'll like move the mouth. But like it's really wild. And so it's like that type of stuff that I think is like that's like the next level of what Disney's doing, is actually like letting you talk to the characters of any you know, franchise. It's live action or animated. I think it's gonna be interesting.
Adobe has a character animator that's like a really rough version of that.
Yeah. Yep. And that is face mapping, right?
Yes, yeah, but you can actually like create. So you actually create like the animated frames, and so you can create like the mouth gestures for different sounds, and basically it picks up those sounds and maps the animated gesture to that specific
That's
sound.
interesting.
Yeah, it's really like it's really rough, but like there's loads of potential in it.
When I was a kid, with that time I was like 10 or 11 and I went to Disney World, it was for a business trip of my dad's, so the whole family got to go. And uh we stayed like the entire business event. It was like a dealer conference, I think. Was in a Disney World resort. I don't know if you've ever been to a Disney World resort. Those are like insanity. Like their tram that takes you into the park pulls right into the lobby.
Magical Express.
Something like that. It So it's like
Is that the one you stayed at?
Yeah.
Oh,
They have like 3
man.
resorts when I was a kid. It was like the Dolphin, the
Bougie.
it was pretty swank. I'm not gonna lie. And they had the costumed characters like in the hotel at all times.
Like at breakfast and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yep. So we'd go down to breakfast and there'd be like Mickey and Minnie by the scrambled egg bar, and then Chip and Dale would be like walking around in the lobby. It was wild. Again, if I was like 6 or 7, that would have just absolutely blown my mind. But I also imagine staying in a Disney resort is probably in the neighborhood of like $500 a night. So
it is. I have
YOLO.
a coworker who takes her family every year, and like her husband makes a decent amount of money. He works in finance, but like that's the only vacation they take.
I mean, that makes sense.
And they do it, and they go hard.
Hey, when you got it,
They love it.
Yep.
They love it.
Go hard, go home.
Yep.
Okay, so I think after a long time of scrolling, we're finally caught up with the question. So we're almost at an hour. I know we started a little bit late, about 5 minutes late. So we'll linger for a bit longer. If anyone does have any follow-up questions, you can definitely post them. Again, anything you guys want to know. But this is just us like rambling and chatting for a while, which I hope is like entertaining for you guys, or at least just a way to like distract from what's going on in the world. Because again, I do appreciate you guys very much. Not only your Patreon support, supporting the show, supporting collaborative storytelling, but also just showing up and being interested in what we do and the process and all this stuff. It means a lot to me that you guys make this a priority every month and are here and engaged with us and want to know what's going on. Because I mean, it's easy to kind of, like I was saying, kind of operate in our own little bubble here especially during quarantine and the pandemic and everything like that. So it's really great to be able to share this with you guys. So I appreciate it very much. Kaylee, question: what's everyone's favorite animated Disney movie?
Aladdin.
Does Toy Story count? It's animated.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, I would think it would.
Robin Hood.
Okay, Robin Hood.
I don't know. Okay, for the longest time, it was Beauty and the Beast.
That's my number 2.
So I'll probably fall back on that because I can't. That's too hard to pick.
Sure. Mike's gonna say like Fantasia.
Home on the
animated?
Range.
I'm gonna say Hercules.
It's a good one.
Oh, Hercules. That was in like the second, like the Silver Age of Disney animated, where it was like Tarzan and Hercules, and
Mulan.
I think Mulan was in there, and
Mulan's
like
good.
Emperor's New Groove and Atlantis. Do you guys remember Atlantis?
Emperor's New Groove. That's probably my favorite. I gotta change it out. That's my favorite.
I love Emperor's New. That's a great movie. So yeah, one last question, and then we'll peace out. What's the best good news you've heard since quarantine started?
There was a breach in the ozone around the
Arctic, right?
the Arctic that has closed, and geologists have been worried about it for a long time. So it's kind of cool. I think that no one's saying that it's been caused by like the lack of pollution that's happening because of all the quarantining, but still pretty dang cool.
Yeah.
Like that the ozone has kind of healed itself in that area.
What about you, Kels?
It doesn't really count because we found out right before quarantine, but technically Italy and China were falling apart. So I'm counting it, and that would be that we are having a girl.
What?
What? Were you acting like you didn't know? Is that what that was?
No.
Oh, okay.
I got confused by the international stuff.
People were going through stuff,
They
but
are.
it was good news to us in the midst of their tragedy.
Yes.
Again, it's find a win where you can get them.
The silver lining.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are having a girl, and we're pumped about it.
What about you, Dan?
I don't know if I've gotten any like celebratory good news since the quarantine. I haven't gotten any bad news, so.
The lack of bad news is good news in and of
Yeah.
itself.
Yep.
That's a cop-out answer.
Well,
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, probably along the lines of what Dan was saying, but I think still having a job, family's healthy, just those little things I just super thankful for and humbled by. So, yeah, and I guess like living in Nebraska and Lincoln, I mean, we're probably one of the least hit cities. I can only imagine just living in New York or some of those other populated areas. So just thankful for that. So that's good news for me.
Yeah, I watched the Alex Smith
yeah.
eat 30 for 30 yesterday. For those of you who don't know, Alex Smith is a NFL quarterback who was selected first overall in the 2005 draft by the San Francisco 49ers. Then he went to the Kansas City Chiefs in 2013, and then he went to the Redskins in 2018. And about halfway through his first season with the Washington Redskins, he broke his leg got broken in half. One of the most gruesome injuries the sports has ever had on record. And he obviously was done for the season. It literally looked like your leg has one bone in it, but then there's a bunch of smaller bones near the heel and your foot and all that. His leg bone, like his lower leg bone, I forget what that is called, but it maybe tibia. It broke lengthwise. It didn't break in half. It broke lengthwise, and then in half. And the part like his ankle bone near the heel of his foot also broke, and it looked like he had a second knee.
Just destroyed his leg.
It was insane, and I promise there's a point to this story, and then we'll end. And then so he went to the hospital, and they started doing surgery, but because there's a compound fracture, which means the bone is sticking out of the leg, that much higher risk for infection, and that's what happened. Like part of his jersey or uniform or dirt or grass or whatever got into the wound, and it actually put an infection in his bloodstream, which caused him to go septic, which means your skin and your muscle starts rotting, literally rotting, and so they have to carve it away in order to save it. And usually about half the time what happens with that is they have to amputate. And of course, if he amputates, that's the end of his career. I mean, that's the end of everything for him. And long story short, the reason why I say all that is because there was a moment in this documentary where his wife was talking to him, and he was right on the verge of, he had just decided he wanted to salvage his leg, which meant cutting all of, like, most of the muscle and everything off of his leg to the point where you could see bone and the rod they put in. And his wife is just like sobbing for him, and he gets up and he says, like, there are so many people in the world who would rather be in my situation right now. And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, all around the world, people are living in horrible conditions, the worst, like the worst home lives, the worst personal lives, family experience. Like, I'm very blessed. This sucks, but this is not the end for me, and this won't define me. And so I think just having that perspective of, like, yeah, this situation we're in sucks right now, but man, like Mike was saying, Lincoln, our city, has not really been hit that hard. I'm still employed. Everyone I know in this group at least is still employed, and like our families are healthy. Good grief, there's so much to be thankful for, despite everything that's going on. And that was like a big takeaway for me from that documentary yesterday. Is like, holy crap, this dude has been traded twice. He was benched during the Super Bowl, has always just been replaced by people younger than him. And then when he finally gets a chance, he breaks his leg in half, and he's still positive throughout all of it. If that's not a takeaway if that's not something you can't take away in your own life, then I challenge you to find like something better, because I don't think you can. So, anyways, go watch that documentary. It's on YouTube. I will say there are definitely parts of it that made me have to look away. It's squeamy for sure, but it's gnarly. But just, you can't watch it and not be grateful and thankful for what you've been given in your life. I challenge you on that, and I think that's going to be the end of this live stream. So, thank you guys. Appreciate y'all very much. Thank you, Sneak Attack Cast, for jumping in this Discord call. Appreciate you all very much. I love seeing your guys' faces. We are doing we're doing another quarantine content recording this Thursday, so look forward to that coming out here pretty soon. Obviously, it won't come out on Thursday, but it'll come out shortly, both video and audio formats, so it should be fun on that. So again, appreciate you guys very much. There's a little bit of delay on the stream, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just like leave it going, but I'm going to shut off all the screens. So I don't know how long I have to go, but there'll be a little bit of silence, but appreciate you guys. Everyone can wave at the camera now. There it is. Bye, guys. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.